Afternoon. So glad you are here. You are at the Elevate 2024 informational session. I am Keely O'Sullivan Kurtz. I am the Director of CNP Programs at the Nonprofit Leadership Alliance. And as I've shared, I'm calling in from Kansas City, Missouri. With me today is my colleague, Ariel.
Hey everyone, my name is Ariel Kaler and I am our program manager here at the Alliance, and I am from Memphis, Tennessee. That's like where I claim to be home, but I live in Knoxville, Tennessee now.
We know that there are a couple of groups of folks at today's session. Some of you are already registered for Elevate, and some of you are here to learn more information before registering. So in order for us to make this session as valuable as it can be to both groups of people, here's what we're going to do during our time together. We're going to begin by talking about what Elevate is. So we'll do a high-level review. Then we're going to dive into what the key elements of Elevate entail and how attendees can make the most of the conference. Following that, we're going to hop over to the Elevate platform for a bit of a sneak peek so you can get a taste of what to expect at Elevate. There is designated time at the end of the session to answer questions, but I just want to stress the fact that this is not, I know we do have slides, but we don't have like an overly scripted session today. We're really holding the session for you to answer your questions. So during, as we're going through the presentation, please, please, please don't hesitate to put your questions in the chat and we can answer them live. Oh, and then last but certainly not least, we'll share the registration information as well as the discount code to get you a little bit of a discount when you register.
Okay, so first off, who is the Nonprofit Leadership Alliance? We were founded 75 years ago. And we really have two main programs that we focus on: our CNP program, Certified Nonprofit Professional Credential, and then our program called Leaderosity, which just has a ton of really cool trainings that you can do individually or as a team. And so with those, a couple numbers we wanted to share is we have over 12,000 CPs nationwide and some even internationally. And we've had over 20,000 people take our Leaderosity courses. And so with that, just throughout our last 75 years, we've seen so many like ripple effects of the impact that we've had. And so Elevate is something that we added on to that. And I always like to highlight that we've been doing Elevate for 10 years. So I think everyone went online, in 2020, that was like something that was new for everyone. It happened, but we had been doing Elevate online for 6 years before that. So we've been doing it for a little while.
And it really, to your point, Ariel, is a bit of an auspicious year. It's the 10th year of Elevate, but it's also the 75th year celebration of our organization. So what a time to come to our conference. Elevate is really special for a variety of reasons. One, it is this annual time for nonprofit professionals in and outside of our network to get together. It is a 3-day virtual conference. It does take place the 27th through the 29th. It features key content that will help nonprofit professionals get a better understanding of what's happening in the sector and where we think it's going to go. We want you to come to Elevate, learn new things, get new tools, and take them back to your organization so that you can better serve your community. Ultimately, Elevate is this chance for nonprofit people to come together with other nonprofit people so that we can all help each other.
So make the most of Elevate. How are we going to make that happen? Today, we're going to focus on 4 primary things that you can use to make the most of Elevate, but there's a lot more than just what we're going to cover today. So those 4 things are our 4 tracks of content, some networking opportunities that we'll have kind of woven in throughout Elevate, a lot of resources that we are going to provide, your speakers are going to provide, and then a digital badge that we're going to cover closer to the end that is just a great way to show everyone in your network that you went to Elevate. And so now we're going to dive a little bit deeper into all of these.
Got to start with the tracks. Elevate tracks, they were determined this year in a couple of ways. First of all, we polled our community of certified nonprofit professionals, and we also have a volunteer group of excellent individuals who are serving on our Elevate Planning Committee. Shout out to Shauna, who's on this call. And through those two different routes, we were able to come up with tracks that contain the issues that are affecting nonprofit professionals. So these tracks are building strong organizations. There is fundraising evolution, AI and beyond. There's putting people first, and there's the Changemaker Cafe. Building strong organizations, this track is really looking at those foundational items, those pillars of success that organizations need to focus on in today's climate to thrive. And a session that comes to my mind on this track, there's one about building effective partnerships today and what those expectations are. Looking at the fundraising evolution, AI and beyond, this track's sessions are really considering how competitive fundraising is today and all of the technological advances that are happening for fundraisers. A session on this track that I'm very excited about. It's one of our live panels. It hosts Philip Dang and Tim Sarantonio. They are two really prominent voices in this space, and I just can't wait to hear their expert discussion. Putting people first track. This is looking at how nonprofit organizations can really be human-centric. How can we build really effective teams with excellent staff members, and how do we retain them? We have a session about Gen Z and what that means for the nonprofit sector. There's another session about racial equity in the nonprofit sector and hiring retention. So really, really good stuff on each of these tracks. The other track that I, of course, have to highlight is our Changemaker Cafe. This is really our social time together. Whenever you go to an in-person conference, there are coffee breaks, there's that lobby where you get to meet up with people and have those more casual conversations. This is our virtual cafe, Changemaker Cafe. I want to pause for a moment to see if there are any questions. But also, I want to say a question that we get a lot of the time when we're talking about Elevate and all of its content is, if I register for Elevate, then do I need to register separately for these different tracks? The answer is no. Once you register for Elevate, you get access to all of the content on all of the tracks. Okay, not seeing any questions yet. I'm going to keep rocking and rolling to talk a little bit more about all of the sessions on these tracks. Right now, if you head over to the Elevate site, you can certainly see the schedule of events, and you can get a play-by-play of what the 3 days at Elevate will look like. At a high-level view, there's an awful lot of content. We will have 12 breakout sessions over the course of the 3 days. The format of these breakout sessions is that they were recorded actually in December and January, and these are more like bite-sized 20-25-minute sessions. We make them that length just based on past attendee feedback, so you can have the option to view those sessions when there's time on the schedule for them, or maybe you have extra time during your lunch break or during a break at Elevate. You can watch those on demand. We also have 3 live workshops. So once a day at Elevate, we have a live workshop where we will have a facilitator who will be going through interactive activities. You'll be going through tools, and you'll be able to leave with materials after those sessions. We have 2 live panels. I mentioned one about fundraising and AI and the ethical considerations of AI in fundraising. The other panel that we'll have this year is about accessibility and making sure that your organization's programming is accessible both to your staff and your volunteers and your main audience. Of course, we have 2 very exciting keynotes. The first keynote that we have at Elevate is on the first day. It's hosting Carrie Burnens. She is just a phenomenal human who has been a stunt woman at the Black Panther movie. She's a philanthropist. She speaks 8 languages, and she is an excellent storyteller. And she's going to talk to us about resilience and how sometimes we might set our own limits and how we can overcome those limits. So very exciting stuff with our keynotes. that's a bit of like the heavy hitting content at Elevate, but of course we have these social activities as well. The first night, to help with networking and to break the ice between all of our attendees, we host a game night. This year it's a trivia night about the nonprofit sector. There will be a prize. We also have a coffee break on the last day, to do some reflections and to catch up with the folks that you've connected with the previous 2 days. And then we also have a documentary night. So the documentary night always takes place on the second day of Elevate, where we will all have time in the schedule to watch a documentary. This year's documentary is in honor of Black History Month, and then we have a live reflection session. So having said all of that, there's a lot that happens during the 3 days of Elevate, and there is a schedule that will lead you through every item. That said, I know that you all are very busy people and you might not be able to attend every live event, and that is just fine. If you miss a live event, it's recorded and it usually becomes available on the Elevate platform the next day. Another question that we get a lot about Elevate is, what if I have to miss a whole day? Can I come back and catch all the content? The answer is absolutely yes. After the live Elevate ends on the 29th, we allow our attendees to continue accessing all the content through the end of March. All righty. We've talked about content. Let's talk about the networking and the community that we're building at Elevate. As I mentioned, the thing that brings Elevate attendees together is really our drive to do good in our communities and to make a bigger impact with our organization. So we're all coming together to get these tools. What is really unique and special about Elevate is that we have such diverse experiences of our attendees who come. So we will have a group of undergraduate students who are earning their degrees and also earning their C&P at their campuses. They will certainly be at Elevate. We'll have individuals who've been working in the sector for 35 plus years. And so Elevate has this common denominator of this nonprofit professionalism, the nonprofit sector, and it just brings together this multi-generational perspective that is a really awesome thing to be part of. To help build community with the folks who are at Elevate, we have a variety of things in store. We've already mentioned some of them. The live sessions, so keynotes, panels, workshops, all of those are live sessions where you have the opportunity to engage directly with the speaker. Every session at Elevate, whether it is live or one of our on-demand breakout sessions, it will have a discussion board assigned to it. So that means, after you watch a breakout session and you have a reflection that you want to share, or you have a question for the speaker, or maybe that person who is doing that presentation is speaking to something that you're an expert in and you have resources to share. You go to the discussion board for that session, you get to see what other people are thinking about it, and you get to share your perspective. The discussion boards at Elevate are hopping, definitely during the event and after. And then, we mentioned those social events. So every day, at least once a day, there's an opportunity for Elevate attendees to come together and, get to know one another and start building that community.
Okay, so we've talked about content, how to connect with people. Now, what happens at the end of Elevate? One thing that you get to take with you and you get to keep forever is the Elevate digital badge. And so this picture right here that says Elevate 2024, that is exactly what the badge looks like. You can add it to your LinkedIn profile. You can add it to your resume. The other day I saw somebody had it added to the bottom of their email signature. And so this is just a way to communicate to your network, your friends, your coworkers that you have gone to this conference and you are well equipped for the year and to see what is coming up next in the nonprofit sector. The goal of the digital badge is to highlight that you've learned a lot at the conference, to highlight your accomplishment, and to show that you've continued your education. There's a metadata associated with the digital badge. So whenever you add it to like your LinkedIn profile, it makes you searchable by hiring managers and other people on that platform. And so, if somebody were to type in content like leadership in the nonprofit sector, right? Or event management, right? Some of those things are going to pop up because your name's going to pop up because it's associated with the metadata for the digital badge. And we also provide a guide step by step on how to add this to your LinkedIn profile and to your resume. So you'll be able to look for that towards the end of Elevate. A couple other things about the digital badge is it will become available to fill out the first day of the conference. You have access to the digital badge until the end of March. So we always ask people to just complete it by March 31st, and then you will get your digital badge. So you might be saying, this digital badge is great. I can't wait to add it. How do I get it? Great question. So we have a few requirements that really just show that you were truly involved in Elevate. And so whenever you get this digital badge, you fill out a form. And the requirements to get the digital badge are to attend 2 keynotes, to attend 2 live panels, attend 4 breakout sessions, and then just 2 of those like networking live activities that Keely mentioned. Now you're saying, whoa, 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 I have work. I can't go to everything live. That's okay. Even if you attend the recorded version the next day or the next week, all of that still counts to mark off those requirements. And then one thing I did want to show is this picture at the bottom that says licenses and certificates. That's exactly how it will show on your LinkedIn profile years and years after you've already attended Elevate. So this is somebody's LinkedIn profile from Elevate 2023.
Thank you, Ariel. Okay, so let's say registered for Elevate. What happens next? Well, first, you will be receiving attendee emails. So if you aren't seeing attendee emails, my first recommendation is, of course, to check your spam, but then, email us if you're not seeing those attendee emails that are preparing you for the conference. A question we get a lot about the Elevate conference, because it is virtual, is, how do I log in and get started? What happens on February 26th, so Monday, the 26th, the day before Elevate kicks off on the 27th, you will receive in the morning an email from us saying, welcome to Elevate 2024. Here's what you need to do to log in. I highly recommend you go ahead and log in and just make sure that you are all set up. That way, when the content starts on the 27th, on that Tuesday, you'll be ready. So the 26th, you get your welcome email. Live conference is the 27th through that 29th. And then this year is a little bit different because of all of those celebrations we mentioned earlier. We do have National CNP Day on that Friday, which is free for all attendees, Elevate attendees to attend. And then again, you will have access to all of the Elevate content through March 31st. Okay. So that was our high-level review of what Elevate is, the value of the conference. Now we're going to shift gears just a little bit. Let me switch up my screen for one moment. And we're going to show you a sneak peek. All right, let me make this a little bit bigger for y'all. Okay. So let's say I'm an attendee at Elevate and I just logged into the site for the very first time. If there's anything that you take away from today's session, besides logging on the 26th, I would love for you to remember to go to the Get Started page. The first time you log in, you will see an orange pop-up that says, we're so glad you're here. Click here to get started. You can see the Get Started page here. It's all over the homepage. Why the Get Started page is so helpful is because it goes through step by step everything that you need to do on the Elevate site to set up your profile, to check out the sessions. It will go through it in a more in-depth way than I will today. Also, I did want to make a quick little disclaimer. Today in our session, I am going to show you some of the functionality of Elevate to give you a little bit of a taste of what you can expect. But the first day of the conference, during our welcome session, we do have a really in-depth demo. So you don't actually have to remember where to go everywhere right now on the site. We will go through that again in depth the first day of Elevate. Okay, back on track. You go to the Get Started page. It will walk you through the Elevate site and really get you set up for success. Looking at the home page, we build the home page so that everything that you need to go to sessions, to fill out your digital badge, to stay connected with what's happening at the conference and to connect with your fellow attendees, it's on the home page. You can see we have quick links that again reference that Get Started page. We have a link to the digital badge, and of course, get help. If you need help, we have staff designated to help answer your questions in the live environment. Something that I think is really important when we're thinking about Elevate is how do you get to the different sessions in this live virtual space? There are really two ways that we have the Elevate platform set up to do that. First of all, you can see these 4 tracks over here on the left-hand side. These 4 tracks, when you click on them, they'll take you to those track pages, and all of the content, the sessions, the discussions associated with these tracks are on those pages. I can show you a little bit about what fundraising evolution looks like. It's not, right now it's only staff in here, so there's not too much discussion. Oh, and I see we have a writing here. That's okay. This is where the discussions live. It's also where all of the sessions live. So if you want to see the content directly related to those tracks, you come to the track pages. The other way, and I think this is maybe my preferred way to navigate the site, we do have this schedule button up here. The schedule will take you through literally session by session by time, and will take you either to the live Zoom room that you need to go to or to the recording. So this schedule is very valuable to you. All right, some of the other important parts about the Elevate homepage. Again, its whole objective is to keep you connected and engaged with what's happening. So we have our Elevate news. We also have a section for the live upcoming sessions, so you can have those on your brain. Last but not least, we have latest discussions that are happening at the conference. So to me, when you're thinking about Elevate, you need to get logged in, you need to go to that Get Started page, and then there's just so much for you to check out. But these were the main things that we wanted to cover today in our session. The other note that I have is for folks who haven't registered yet. If you haven't registered yet, and I guess really if you have registered because you all can't log in yet. So anyone who can't log into the site, if you go to the Elevate page right now, you have access to the schedule. So you can see the schedule of events and when the sessions are happening. You can also see the information about our speakers. We have so many awesome dynamic speakers. From our keynotes, I mentioned Carrie earlier. Our other keynote is Darian Rodriguez Heyman, who has been in the fundraising space for he's done so much. He's an author. He's the CEO of Helping People Help. Did I say that correctly? I might have messed that up, but he's an excellent presenter and he's going to talk about fundraising in the future. So you can check out all of our different speakers and get a sense for what they're bringing to the conference. Okay, so I think I saw some chats. Let's see. Oh, yep. I think Ariel, you're responding there. Perfect. Ariel responded in the chat with the Elevate schedule, so you all can check that out. Thanks, Ariel. And as Ariel, let's think, are there other questions that people generally ask us about Elevate? And I'm also going to see, I know we have some of our Elevate Planning Committee members, if there anything that comes to their brains about things that we should highlight about the Elevate site.
I think one thing that I always like to highlight is anytime that we're planning anything for Elevate, I'm always thinking, what can we do to make this feel like we were live and in person? So we are really intentional about creating spaces and making it feel like you're face to face, live and in person with people, if that's something that you're interested in. And so I just think that that's something that we do really well, because that's the experience that we would want if we went to an online conference.
Lovely point. All righty, well, let's get back to the slide deck.
Ooh, someone asked a good question in the chat. How long will we have access to the recordings? Great question. You will have access until the end of March, so March 31st. And then also, I was chatted something earlier too about the digital badge. And so one thing I want to highlight is the digital badge is for everyone who attends Elevate. You do not have to be a current student or a current CNP learner. You can get the badge for Elevate and broadcast that everywhere at any point in your CNP career.
It's honestly a really great way, especially on your LinkedIn profile, to showcase the professional development that you're doing. And I think I was going to say, a lot of people attend Elevate for a lot of different reasons. Some people come for the professional development to keep their learning. We have a group of folks who come to Elevate because they are pursuing their certified nonprofit professional credential, and this attendance at a national conference is a requirement. So we have a bunch of different folks who attend.
So
All right.
we have two questions in the chat. Keely, I can read them, and then if you want to respond. The first one is, do we use our CNP login credentials or will we create new credentials?
I believe they will be the same. The email that will invite you on that Monday will give you instructions, and I believe you get to use your same credentials.
Perfect. Someone asked about the coupon code to register. Great question. We will have that a little bit later. We'll also send out a follow-up email that will include that registration coupon code.
Totally. And I just do want to note, because we do have folks who are coming to Elevate to satisfy the requirement for the CNP, if you are on our professional track program, Elevate is included in your tuition and you don't need to register. Just a quick note. Okay, and see one other question. Is there, okay, curious about participants from the particular. I'm not quite sure if I understand that question in its entirety, Natalie. It's about engaging, I think, with folks across the globe. Our operating time, so the Alliance, our headquarters are in Kansas City, Missouri, so we're in Central Time. When the Elevate Planning Committee was establishing the schedule of events for this year's Elevate, we were really mindful of as many time zones as we could. So most of the sessions don't start before 11 a.m. Central, and they certainly get over before 5 p.m. Central. And so even though there might not be, I'm not sure what time zone you're in, but if you are unable to attend the live events, you can certainly watch them when it fits your schedule. And, if you were to message us after our working hours, we might not be able to respond immediately, but we will get to you first thing the next day, if that's what you're meaning by support. I hope I'm getting to the point of your question. Oh, and I just went forward.
Another question that was sent in is, will login information be sent from Nonprofit Leadership Alliance info@nla1.org? Correct me if I'm wrong, Keely, but I think it will be sent from elevate@nla1.org. So most of our Elevate communication will come from the Elevate email.
That is my understanding too, Ariel.
Perfect. Oh, and then a good question. Are discussions open till the end of March, or is it only primarily active during the 3 days of the conference?
I love that question. I will say, we do have a schedule that includes all of the sessions. So even our on-demand sessions, there's a time where most people will be watching them. So you will certainly see an increase in communication on those discussion boards, corresponding to when that session is on the schedule. But people will continue to watch them at different times and will continue to post. And, our speakers also know that the discussion boards will be open through the end of March. And so that conversation can continue and does continue.
Absolutely. And then just a couple similar questions. Just to reiterate, if you are enrolled in the professional track program, if you're in one of our cohorts, you do not need to register for Elevate separately. Our team has already done that for you. You will get the login information email, just like everyone else, on February 25th, right?
You got it.
25th. Great question.
Okay, and let me see what Connie's question is. And the link to join. Yes. Yeah, so great question. No matter how you are enrolled, whether we enrolled you or you enrolled yourself, you will get that email on the 26th to get you into the site. That said, we will be sending additional attendee emails out between now and Elevate. And so, if it comes to be, I don't know, the 23rd of February, and you're like, I haven't heard anything about Elevate, please again, check your spam to see if those messages are going to your spam. And if you aren't seeing them, please email us. We will be sending you a good amount of communication during and before the conference, and we want to make sure, we're in contact with you. Let me see if there are any other questions. Okay, good questions, everyone. Let's keep moving along.
Okay, so how do you register for Elevate? Great question. You can scan this QR code. It will take you straight to the Elevate registration page, or I'm going to drop the chat or drop the link in the chat. And on here, it'll just ask for your name, your email, and then once you, I don't know if that link worked. Let's see. Once you go past the initial page, it'll pull up a page that says membership coupon code, and that is where you will put in the code that says 24 Elevate info. Quick note, if you are a current CNP learner, you have access to a continual discount. So that code won't work on your forms, but for anyone else, any of our CNPs, anybody who is just coming to Elevate for fun, thank you, Miles, for dropping the right link in the chat. I appreciate that. This code will discount your enrollment or your registration 20%.
Okay, I'm just pausing because I see some messages and just to give folks a chance to scan. Okay. Oh, and one little side note. Sometimes we do have groups. If you're an organization and you want to bring your colleagues to Elevate, or you're on a campus and the class is going to come, if you have a group that's going to attend Elevate, we're happy to work with you on a group rate. So feel free to email us at elevate@nla1.org if that's something that might be interesting to you and your group.
Perfect. So something that we are doing this year is called National CNP Day to celebrate our 75th year anniversary. This is going to be on March 1st from 11 a.m. Central Time to 1 p.m. Central Time. Throughout that time, we're going to hear a welcome from our board chair. We're going to hear a panel of CNPs share a little bit about their experience in the sector, share some personal stories, and really kind of think about what is going to come up in the nonprofit sector in the years to come, and kind of brainstorm on, what can that look like, and how can we as professionals be ready to, meet that whenever it comes. Ian Adair is going to close us out with a keynote about leadership and talk about why it's important to be human in this time as a leader in the nonprofit sector. Something that I'm excited about is anyone who attends live will be entered into a raffle to win anything from our CNP store of your choice. So I'm going to drop the registration. Just to clarify, CNP Day is in addition to Elevate, so you will need to register for that separately. It is totally free. It's open to all of our CNP learners. It's open to all of our CNPs and just anyone broadly that's working in the nonprofit sector. We would love for everyone to be there. And this is just a sneak peek of some of the merch that we have on our page that you will be able to win.
All righty, Ariel. That's kind of the end of our slides. We walked through Elevate, the site. We've talked about the conference. We are open to anyone's questions. Let me see. Ooh, love that, Amber. Thanks for ordering a shirt. Let's see if there are any other questions that come in the chat. I'm also going through my memory and seeing what other questions we generally get, Ariel.
let's see. Are there any?
Miles. Yes.
What a good question.
Yeah, that is a really good question, Miles. Ariel, do you have anything come to your mind?
I'm really excited for Carrie's session. We did like a call with her back in November, maybe. It was a while ago, but she is just super incredible, a great energy. The fact that she was a stunt woman on Black Panther is just like really, it just blows my mind.
Right.
And she is just so incredible. So I'm really excited to hear what she has to say.
I second that. Very excited about Carrie's keynote. I have been meeting with our workshop presenters this week, our 3 different workshop presenting groups. And so those are pretty fresh in my brain. So I talked to Kyle Sawyer today about using your privilege for change. I think that's going to be a really compelling workshop. There was one about beyond burnout. It's a hard question, Miles. I'm just very excited for a lot of them. And I think we have such a great group of speakers that are going to talk on so many different things that it's kind of hard to compare them because they're all unique topics.
I cannot agree more.
Okay, y'all. I'm not seeing any more questions right now. Oh, yeah, plop that promo code in there again, Ariel, if you don't mind.
Yes. And we will also follow up with an email.
I can go back there. Yes, so we'll follow up with an email with the recording and slide deck and that promo code. Make sure you register by, what date was it? Oh, the 15th to get that discount. You know, there's a lot that's part of a virtual conference. So if you do have questions between now and when Elevate starts, and you know, certainly during the conference, please reach out to us. We want to be a resource to you. Oh, okay. So this is a question, I think, from one of our learners on the professional track. And no, there isn't an assignment associated with your coursework won't have an assignment from Elevate. That said, we will have a coffee break for professional track learners after Elevate to talk about our reflections, but no assignment. It's a good question.
And someone requested the link for swag. So here. There is that link.
Thanks, Ariel. Okay. Well, we are done 5 minutes early, which is fantastic. But again, I want to stress that if you need anything, have any questions, email us at elevate@nla1.org. Having said all that, I look forward to you all seeing you all at Elevate, which is kind of our revamped version of AMI. I saw that question when we used to be called American Humanics, the Alliance Management Institute. Yes, this is our version of that, just virtual. Hope to see you all at Elevate, where we'll come together, learn a whole lot from each other, and then go back and support our organizations. So thanks again, y'all. Have a great Thursday.